get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Clint, otherwise known as Mr. Burson for all you teachers in the room. Or you can just go by Clint. I've gone by Professor Clint or Mr. Clint or just Clint. So just whatever works for you. Hey, you also is an appropriate way to get a hold of me. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, Missoula School District, Missoula County Public School District, Blackfoot, and a variety of other sponsors that I will get to our first ever Career Pathways event. Kim here will tell you a little bit about how we got here in a minute, but I wanted to take a minute to welcome you and to say thank you for being here. I know that even though it's required, you're still going to enjoy it. But I do also get to thank our sponsors. First off is Blackfoot. They have a ton of swag in the back along with a couple other folks, but they have generously stepped up and made sure to sponsor this event. They wanted you all to know that education and career pathways is super important, and so they were willing to come alongside us and help us make this event actually happen. Our in-kind sponsors for the event are MCT Theater. In case you didn't notice, you're sitting in their building. MCAT, who is filming the event at the back of the room, so you'll be able to come back and review this later. Coca-Cola Market on Front, City Brew on both Broadway and on Brooks, so they've made sure that you've got plenty of food and plenty of drinks. Hopefully you'll have a little bit of all of it before you leave here today. The only other thing two things I want to say is, one, make sure that your cell phones are on silent. If they go off in the middle of the event, I will confiscate them and you will get them back at the end of the semester. The second thing I want to say is, and I've been wanting to say this for literally decades, there will be a test at the end. So you want to make sure that you're really paying attention and taking good notes. Alright, so first, let me introduce my boss, which is always a fun chore for me. She's a fantastic woman, but more importantly, the thing I want to point out about her is she is a prime example of what we're talking about today. She entered the workforce at 19. She entered the workforce at the Chamber of Commerce and worked her way up. So even though college wasn't for her, she still managed to make it work. She's worked her way up at the Chamber, worked every single position in the Chamber, some that don't even exist anymore. But she is now the CEO and has been for a really long time. I won't say how long. But she is super experienced, super passionate, and just an amazing person to work for. Please welcome Kim Luttrell.
Okay, get used to this microphone. I personally wanted to welcome all of you on behalf of the Missoula Chamber of Commerce and the business community. I cannot tell you how excited we are to have all of you in this room. It's been a dream of ours, mine, for so long. You guys play such a critical role in the schools, and from what I've learned from Casey and Elise and visiting with Mark, you have so many responsibilities. Things have changed from the day when I was in high school, and when they started sharing with me your day-to-day, it became even more obvious to me on why the Chamber of Commerce needed to help you guys in knowing what's available out there, so you have those little faces in front of you. You're not trying to, you have your 2-year and your 4-year, which we all support, and that's great, but knowing what all the options are for those little faces when they come in and when you're visiting with them, that's our role, that's our responsibility as a chamber. And so if you get nothing else out of this today, what I want you to hear is we're your partner in this. We're one phone call away. We're going to create a resource directory of information for you guys that you can access anytime. But if you have that unknown question or that student in front of you, you can call us, and I will guarantee you this. We'll get you connected to at least someone in that industry or sector that can help you. So we're here to be that partner for you. We want you to be successful. You've got so much on your plate. So this is an opportunity for us, I think, to really help. Clint introduced me with, I am 46 years at the Chamber. I did start as receptionist. I did work myself up to the President CEO, which I've been for the last 26 years. But here's how my life started, because I wanted you guys to hear this in high school. My counselors brought me in and sat me down and said, you're not going to go very far, girl. You're barely making it. You got some C's, you got some D's. Yeah, you're in cheerleading. You're really good about getting the group together. But if you want to go somewhere, you need to, knuckle down, whatever. And I'm like, oh, God, why do I need to know that? Why do I need to know French? These guys don't want to hear, but I'm like, I was one of those worst students that you go, I said, I don't need to know that. I'm never going to France. Well, long story short, I wish I would have paid attention to some classes better than I did, so I will give you that. But what am I today? I'm a cheerleader. I'm the one cheering on the business community. I'm gathering people together. So those little faces that come before you, not all of them are going to be the doctors and the lawyers, which are we need. Some of them are going to be the people that run your communities and keep things together and are the heart and soul of wanting you guys to succeed. So my story is a true one, and that's why I get so passionate about helping you guys help anybody, because some of my best employees have been graduates of college. Some of my best employees have been ones that, I've trained. So you just don't know. So I'm excited about this. We are your partner. We respect what you do, and I sincerely thank you for what you do, and know that we're just a phone call away. I have some amazing businesses that are going to share pathways into their careers. They're going to share their stories of what they'll do to help students. I think of anything you do today as counselors in your school, this is going to be a day that you're going to walk out here and go, oh my gosh, I had no idea there was that much going on in this community that we could help our students. That's our hope, that's our goal, and then we hope to do this every year and just keep growing on it. So we'll be looking for feedback. So that's it for me, and I'll turn it back to Clint, but please know that we sincerely appreciate all of you.
The other thing about Kim that she won't tell you, and what the reason she succeeded is she's literally the hardest working person in the room, no matter what room she walks into. These kind of events just don't happen unless she walks in one day and says, I had an idea and I was up till 2, so let's talk. So just know that anytime you need something done, if you can get her on board, it's going to get done. The second person I get to introduce today, hopefully you already know, but for our business folks that are in the back of the room, this is Mark Payne. He's the superintendent of Missoula County Public Schools. He kind of came on board with this event when he came to the Chamber Board of Directors and asked us to support the school bond that was in the last election. For those that don't know, the Missoula Chamber actually did support the school bond, but we did have a couple of requests from Mark to go along with that, and one of them was this event. We said, look, businesses have a lot of opportunities for high school students, and we just don't know that those opportunities are known about. So we wanted opportunities to sit down in front of counselors, tell them about those opportunities, make sure that they know about it, and by the way, we'll build a resource directory so that when they're super busy and they don't have time to go research this stuff on their own, all they have to do is pull up this little guide, they'll tell them what the options are, and they can send the students to the business. So Mark said, that's a really great idea. I'm paraphrasing. But he said, yeah, let's move forward with that, and he gave us the green light to move forward, and he's been super supportive of the event ever since. But I'll let him speak to that himself. So, Mark?
Thank you, Clint. I think that are really important for us to think about. First of all, as Clint referenced, for about the last 4 or 5 years, we've had engagement with the Workforce Development Council through the Chamber of Commerce, and I think that's been really important for us. We recognize that there are changing needs in the business community, and I think it's illustrated by a couple points. I read recently that 20% of those individuals in the workforce currently are employed in positions that did not exist in 1980. We have a dynamic workforce, and the needs of the workforce change dramatically over time. So the students that we prepare now will face certainly a different economy than what many of us faced when we graduated. We used to talk about students being college or career ready. And it's really important that we switch that dialogue now. They have to be college and career ready. And I think especially for the employers in the back of the room, that's important because we recognize that certainly we in the school district have a role to prepare students to move right into the workforce. But we know that at some point, business and industry may want to compel those students to get some additional credentials or to get some additional training. And it's important that the students have the capacity to do that. So being ready for post-secondary education in addition to the needs of the workforce is critical. As we consider what we see today, though, we see nearly full employment in the community. And we also see the rising cost of higher education. So many of our students, as they graduate from high school, are faced with some significant choices to make, whether they transition into the workforce immediately or whether they go to post-secondary education, or whether they go to the workforce for a period of time before transitioning into additional post-secondary education. And we need to create pathways that allow them to do all of the above. So I think it's really important today that we have an opportunity to hear from business and industry about what they perceive the needs of their particular industry are, and how we can partner with them to help prepare students not only to understand what those opportunities are, but the pathways that will help them to attain those positions. So we appreciate business and industry coming together today to help us understand their needs. I think that it'll be important for us to be informed and to understand how we can partner meaningfully, and I look forward to the opportunity. I will pass on to you, though, that this is just one of many efforts in this regard. I'm actually on my way to Helena this morning. House Bill 387 is up for a hearing today. And House Bill 387 will create what's known as the Montana Opportunity Fund, if it passes. And that fund essentially sets up an account for each high school student in the state of Montana. And students can draw upon that account to pay any fees associated with things such as AP exams, IB exams, dual credit options, or any costs associated with pathway work or credentials that might allow them to move into the workforce. Kind of an interesting concept, and we'll see if it gets legs, but it's being heard in the House Education Committee today. One of the other components, though, is if the Opportunity Fund is created and if the resources are not fully utilized annually by the students across the state, that money is then devoted to career and technical education. So it's another mechanism to increase funding for CTE. There's also a proposal that is not up for hearing today, but seems to have some momentum in the state legislature, and that is to create a funding stream which will enhance CTE funding at the high school level, but also expand it to grades 7 and 8. We recognize that even middle school students need to begin making those connections to careers and thinking about what their trajectory might be as they move forward. So interesting times locally, interesting times in the state of Montana. And I do want to express my appreciation to Kim and Clint and to the business community for the opportunity to further those partnerships. We recognize that the advisory boards that we have in CTE will benefit from considered input by the business community, and we know that if we're going to be successful in establishing pathways for our students, we need to have that direct link to the business community. So today is an important day for us in terms of this initiative, and I appreciate the efforts of all to make it happen. So thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for being here. Be careful on your way to Helena. The roads are a little snowy today. Next up, I get to introduce Casey Dernberger. I knew I was going to pronounce that wrong. And fortunately, there's no one here that would grade my speech. So proud this morning. Casey is the coordinator for the CTE program for Missoula County Public Schools. She has been a fantastic help in putting this event together. She's really excellent, and we're really excited to have her be here, and a fantastic partner. So thank you for helping, and now you get to say what you want to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Clint. It wasn't really fair. They stole my speech. I don't know what to talk about now. No, I wrote some stuff down. Good morning, everyone. My position as a Career Technology Education Coordinator, also known as CTE, came about after the district ran an audit of our CTE programs. The number one recommendation that came out of that audit was to create this position, and luckily I hold that position currently. So we also had, in the audit, had lots of information, and I've been guided in this whole journey by that audit, all the goals that were set out. One of the goals that we were told that we needed to work towards was to bring partnerships between community and the school system. So the Chamber has been a great partner to start with, and MCPS closely works with the Chamber to close the gap between education and the workforce needs of our community. I am honored to be involved in an event that includes the most influential professionals in the business. Professionals who have the privilege to guide, inspire, and help create our future workforce. As most of you know, February is CTE month. y'all know that. So, Missoula Chamber has not only provided us with this incredible opportunity to celebrate CTE, but to collaborate with their members. Panels of Missoula area businesses and industry leaders will be providing us with information about current workforce needs. The panel will also be helping us with things that they can provide to our students currently and into their futures. The information today will all be captured and posted on the Chamber's website, and there will be a link on our website also at MCTS. So you don't have to take notes. In addition to the panel, there are tables out in the lobby that have organizations that have lots of great help for us, both as CTE teachers and as counselors to provide our students. And there's lots of swag, so take advantage. Someone said swag was fun, so I thought I'd say it. I want to thank everyone here for participating to improve post-secondary and workforce outcomes for our students. Together, we can build a more prepared and quality workforce for our community. And on a side note, don't forget to sign up on the PIR website so that you get credit for today. Thank you.
Alright, you guys can head on back to your seat. It's like a group project. First, I'd like to welcome up our first panel. It's Business Education, Ag Education, Family and Consumer Science. It's kind of a mixed bag of folks. We've got Joanna Rode from AT&T, Ryan Applegate from Missoula Park and Rec, and Molly Callahan, all right, from Montana Society of CPAs. For those that are in the back, there are plenty of seats up front. I know the cool kids like to hang out in the back, but if you'd like to sit down, there's certainly room for you. Don't everybody go at once. All right. So, just to let everyone know kind of what we're going to do up here with the different panels is, they're all going to have about 5 minutes to speak. They're going to tell you kind of what your area of interest or their company has to offer for students, but they're not going to get into the details about how that works, just that they have opportunities for students that maybe aren't looking at necessarily at 2- and 4-year degrees, but and why you should consider sending kids to them. And if they don't tell you enough, then I'm probably going to ask them a question. All right, so we'll start on this end. So Molly, you're with Montana Society of CPAs, which I have a connection to. My dad, my uncle, and my grandfather were all CPAs, so this is why I majored in communication. But I'm sure she'll tell you why I made a bad choice.
I also majored in communication.
Can you right up on it?
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. So as you said, I'm Molly, and I'm the communications director for the Montana Society of CPA. So I am also not a CPA, but I worked in an accounting firm. Is that better? Okay. I worked in an accounting firm for almost 10 years before making the change to the society. So I worked with several accountants, and we have a lot of opportunities available for not only students but teachers. And that's why we wanted to come and talk to you guys today. So I've got some notes here so I don't forget everything. But the MSCPA was founded in 1913, so we've been around for a long time. And we're based out of Helena. We have about 1,800 members across the state, country, and world. So we are big advocates, especially with it being a legislative session. We're up at the Capitol constantly trying to keep our members apprised of what's going on. So as far as some of the student opportunities, we have a group of young professional CPAs. They're all 35 and under, and they pick different projects every year. So one of the projects that they want to focus on this year is reaching and staying connected with students. There's a lot of evidence that if students that are introduced to the accounting profession at a younger age, they're more apt to go into the accounting profession. A lot of our members that are younger are telling us that they just happened to fall into the accounting profession. Their first major didn't work out. They didn't know what they were going to do, and somebody mentioned, like, hey, try an accounting class. That's what I'm in. And then it worked for them. And so that's what our young professionals want to do. They have a goal of making it to a minimum of 10 high school campuses this year to talk with students. So if you have any opportunities for that, they would love to get in front of your students and just tell them what's available. We also do a lot of campus visits for colleges, so we do at least 2 events, one in the fall and one in the spring, and bring the different businesses and opportunities available, we try and match those up with the students at the college campus level. So those are just a couple of the student opportunities. And then another project that the bar group is working on is rural accounting. And this isn't just an accounting problem, but we have a lot of rural communities that the boomers are retiring, and that leaves a huge opportunity for students that are graduating to go into those communities and help those the people that have needs in those. So again, not just an accounting problem. That's another bar project that they're working on, is trying to figure out technology and things like that to help serve some of those communities. We also have a great opportunity for teachers that we would love to share with you guys. The AICPA is partnering with us to bring advanced accounting training to Helena. It's June 24th through 26th. And it's a free training. They can receive up to 22 credits. They can receive 1 master's credit from MSU Billings. And the opportunity is great for them. Again, it's free, and the MSCPA is providing $500 scholarships to help offset the travel costs. The goal of it is, again, just to make it easier for teachers to introduce their students to different accounting opportunities. So I know when I think of accountants, I think of your typical boring CPA tax season, especially this time of year. But there are so many other opportunities available to them. If you think of any business, they likely have a controller. There are different opportunities with nonprofits, government agencies, all different types of industry. And one of our young professionals, she loves that she can do bookkeeping work. It always keeps it different. She does book work for several different things, and she still has great work-life balance. There's auditing opportunities where they'll go and audit different businesses and just keep things different and constantly moving around. So that's always fun for our accountants too. A couple characteristics as far as what type of students would make great accountants. I would say, sorry, I switched my notes. No, I'm not sure my baby. Trustworthy, excellent organization and time management skills, great communication, customer service, and creativity. So I think those are just some different characteristics that you can kind of look for in your students to maybe introduce them to the accounting profession. So.
I really find it interesting that you say creative. My dad always said creative accountants are the ones that go to jail. So I'm not sure how much I believe that piece, but it sounds like there's some good opportunities there. I'm sorry, but I was going to say, you do not look like Joanna. At least your name tag doesn't look like it. So I'll let you go ahead and talk and introduce yourself. Meredith, apparently.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hoffman. I'm with AT&T, the call center. Joanna's here as well. You guys can meet her at our swag table. I am the area manager over hiring and talent acquisition within AT&T, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about some opportunities that we have in terms of employment on the site. So a couple of main things is we offer a great starting wage. So right now we're starting at $14.86 an hour, and that's entry-level position. What we look for when hiring to that position is customer service. A lot of times we do get applicants right out of high school, and they've maybe had retail or they've had fast food. Anything really in the customer service industry can make some good background in order to help them feel comfortable to get through an interview and be ready for the job. We do offer 6 weeks of on-the-job training, and we also tell our applicants that it's going to take about 6 months before you're really going to feel proficient. So if somebody thinks they're not ready, but they're interested in the position, I would tell them to still come and apply or go online, att.jobs, and apply for the position. It is a call center job, taking inbound technical care calls. So these are customers that their TV is not working and they just need a little bit of help, to get their program working so they can, watch their movie or their game or whatever it is that's going on. This is really just that customer service skill, and we're going to go ahead and teach them everything else that they need to know. So in addition to having a really competitive wage, which I didn't make $14 or $86 an hour when I came out of high school. I think that's incredible. We also offer benefits and full-time employment. So right now we're hiring full-time. I know a lot of times it's a struggle to get 40 hours a week, and so it's a great benefit to not only get medical, dental, vision, but we hire at 40 hours. So you're not going to end up with seasonal work where you're laid off or where you're only getting 10 hours a week. I went to college and I was working retail and I worked 10 hours a week, and you cannot live on that. So it's really exciting for any of those students that you currently have that are leaving high school but not quite ready to go into college. And then another thing that I'd like to highlight is we do have tuition reimbursement. So Mark mentioned that you need to make sure your students are prepared, being both college and career ready. And so after you've spent roughly 6 months with the company, you're eligible for $5,200 for tuition reimbursement. So it's a great way to take a student who maybe they don't know what they want to do, or they want to be non-traditional students. Again, we have full-time employment, so we're not going to work around a traditional school schedule. But if you're going to school online, this is a great way to be able to graduate and not have to have a bunch of debt. You're really setting yourself up for success. So we would love to be able to talk to you about any of those things if you have any questions. Some other things that we'd like to do to partner with the schools or anybody in the community is if you are leading anything where you want mock interviews, help with resume building. We have a group of frontline managers who would be excellent at helping with those skills. They help our current employees when they're going up for promotions, and we would love to partner with you on that. So I'd encourage you to come to our table. We're right out the door. We have lots of swag. We can answer any of your questions and get a little bit more information for you if you would like to see how we can best support you and how you can send us really awesome students to work for us.
The other thing I'll tell you about AT&T that she didn't mention, aside from the fact that they have their own parking so you don't have to pay for it downtown, they have an amazing facility. It has its own restaurant, right? Little cafe kind of thing. It's got a technology place where they can use all kinds of technology that AT&T has to offer. And my favorite piece, they have a game room with like big video games and cool stuff.
And now we have shuffleboard and ping pong. I
Okay.
mean, you do have to work at some point, but work hard is really fun.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a really great place to work, and especially with all those benefits that she just mentioned. Anyone that's not ready for college or can't afford it just yet, putting in a little bit of time at AT&T will help you get to that goal, and it's a fantastic place to work. So next up, we have not the person that was supposed to be here from Missoula Parks and Rec, but we do have someone here to tell us about what the city has to offer.
Hi everyone. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. I'm Kylie Gelderman. I'm not Ryan Applegate. I have hair on my head and no beard. So that's the big difference between us. Also, Ryan is a lot more well-versed in kind of the details of what we have to offer, but I'm pretty good at the general stuff. So Missoula Parks and Rec has a lot of more traditional sort of after-school and summer positions available. We start as young as 15. We also have programs that are volunteer-based that start at 13 and 14 that build skills for kids who then can come and work for us in different capacities. So mainly what we have is lifeguarding is a very big one in the summer, concessions, cooking and cashiering at our front desk, and then the last one is summer camp coordinators. So the programs that we have that are geared towards younger kids that are volunteer-based are our junior lifeguard and junior camp counselor programs. These guys go to a training. They work under a counselor or lifeguard for a couple weeks in the summer. They get to kind of choose their own schedules. They can still go on vacation. And then if they want to the next year when they turn 15, we'll hire them on as lifeguards. One of the other things that we're doing this year that's a little bit different is for our lifeguarding. Kids don't need to have taken our lifeguard class or a different lifeguard class in order to get hired as a lifeguard. We're going to hire kids and then train them to our standards, which are a little bit higher than the American Red Cross standards, a little bit more intense, but it's really a great opportunity for on-the-job training to get paid while you're doing it. It's great for student athletes who want to stay active during the summer and then also have something that will work around their schedule. We have a lot of student athletes that work for us. It's also just good for kids who want to do something, but they don't know what. It's pretty fun with the summer camp and go whitewater rafting one day, rock climbing the next day. These guys are doing lots of cool things. We also have, for kids who are maybe really good mountain bikers or really good rock climbers, that sort of thing, they want to make a little more money, do something during the summer. We have specialized summer camp positions for coordinators, and they make a little bit more. They start at like $13.50, so that's pretty good. I think I was making $7.50 at Dairy Queen during the summer when I started working, more than my allowance. So in addition to that, we also had concessions positions and then front desk positions where kids will be dealing with money. This is a really good opportunity for customer service and money handling experience for kids who are maybe thinking of business opportunities in the future. It's nice to have on the resume. A lot of our current full-time people, so Ryan Applegate is a great example. His first summer of college was a rock climbing instructor with us. And then he finished college, went off to grad school, came back years later, and everyone remembered him because he was that really fun rock climbing instructor. And all of a sudden he wants to be our business manager. So we have a lot of great opportunities. Another thing that's really appealing to kids is our application process is fully online. So that's pretty appealing. They can do it from their phone if they want to. One more thing, I'm forgetting it. Yeah, for the most part, like I said, we start pretty young if they want to learn some skills and build those up, and then we have positions for them to then transition into. We start that hiring. We do it at the beginning of the summer, kind of springtime, and then midsummer we'll do a second hiring. We work around schedules really nicely. A lot of our kids, one of our front desk girls who's with us for 4 years and is now in her junior year of college, started when she was a junior in high school. At the end of her, high school or junior year, and she was working just in the afternoons. She'd come in at 4 o'clock, close it down at 7:30, get her homework done while she was there, that kind of thing. So we do have a lot of opportunities that kids don't realize that they are perfectly fit for. So let them know about us. We'd love to have you this summer and throughout the school year.
Thanks, ladies. Everyone doing okay? Right. Next up, we've got a panel for the first of 3 panels from the Industrial Trades and Tech. So I'll bring up Missoula Electric Co-op, Liberty Electric, Static Solar, Diversified Plastics, Domo Design Build, and Blackfoot. If you're one of those companies, come on. So I'm missing one, but we'll figure it out. All right. So first up, we'll start with Missoula Electric Co-op.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kelsey Lodge, and I am the manager of communications at Missoula Electric Cooperative. For those of you who don't know what Missoula Electric Cooperative does, we were founded in 1936, and we service electricity to our members across western Montana and Idaho. We have about 42 full-time employees combined in Missoula, which is our headquarter office, and then we have a small hub in Sealy Lake. A few stats on cooperatives, actually electric cooperatives. There are lots of different types of cooperatives. The U.S. electric utility industry is about a $391 billion industry. There are more than 900 cooperatives across 47 states that provide electric service to about 56% of the nation's land mass. And the co-ops serve more than 19 million businesses, homes, schools, churches, farms, irrigation systems, and other establishments. So I just kind of wanted to give you a quick peek at what electric cooperatives do for your community. So moving on to the workforce, which is why we're here today. As of last week, there were 340 electric jobs available on our Touchstone Energy website, and that's across the U.S. So when most people think of an electric co-op, you think of a lineman. So if everyone, show of hands, if you can remember your last power outage in the last maybe 6 months, raise your hand. And when you had that power outage, was the weather that you would want to go out in? Probably not. So we always say that when the power goes out, so do we. So our linemen go out in really challenging weather conditions, really harsh environments. We had a power outage this weekend, so negative temperatures. So you see that the industry is kind of going through this ebb and flow right now in the workforce. So we have people that are retiring as of recently that have worked with us for 34 years, 23 years. We had 4 retirements at the end of this year out of a staff of 42. That's actually a big percentage. So you see kind of a lack of people that are interested in going into this industry. You're on call, you're working in those harsh environments and conditions, and it's just a trade that a lot of people don't think of when they think of going to school. So I wanted to kind of talk on that briefly. This trade actually only requires 1 semester of school, and it's not your traditional type of schooling. There are 2 schools very close to us that offer this type of schooling. It's Highlands College at Montana Tech in Butte, and then also Northwest Lineman College in Meridian, Idaho. And then after you do your semester in school, you would apply for an apprenticeship, and the apprenticeship program is nationwide. You would start with a co-op, and it's 4 years of apprenticeship, so you would be paid for those 4 years and learn on-the-job training. So it's a really great way for students that maybe don't want to, they don't excel at something like accounting, or they don't see themselves being a doctor. This is something where they can utilize their hands, get out in maybe they really love being outdoors, they want to stay in the western part of the United States and the Northwest and make a really good living. This is a really good career to consider. And then the average salary for the industry for a lineman is $73,000. Mind you, you're making exceptional benefits as well. There's 10,000 jobs available for entry-level apprenticeships, and there's a 10 to 14% job growth rate every year. Other career opportunities we do have at MEC, we have engineers, accountants, business administration, IT, marketing and communications, and HR. And what can we offer to students? We do an annual scholarship program for counselors. I think you should all take out your notepads and write this down. Every January, every year since we've basically started, we accept applications for 15 $1,000 educational scholarships. They are available to any active MEC members of any age. So if you're a non-trad student at UM, if you are a student in high school, you're a qualified dependent of an MEC member, you can apply for these scholarships. And believe it or not, we always could use more applicants. So 15 $1,000 scholarships every January. Students do have to have a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher. Job shadowing opportunities. Students are welcome to contact our office or myself if they're interested in job shadowing any of our departments. We would be happy to coordinate and set up a rotation as well if they're just really unsure of what they want to do. Internships, we haven't done an internship program in quite some time, but we are open to potentially opening 2 internships this summer if you have students that are interested. It would be an unpaid internship, but it would offer flexible rotation throughout any department. And then we do have summer job opportunities as well. That line program that we were talking about, those 2 schools that offer a semester, we typically go to that program first and we ask for their top students. And we, in fact, just hired our summer hire from this line program, and they're a full-time employee now, and they're our warehouse manager. So really good foot in the door if they start with a summer job with us. And we plan to sponsor his future apprenticeship to become a lineman as well. When you're employed at MEC, cooperatives pay very well. Starting pay in any role in our office is over $20 an hour. Every employee is eligible for health, dental, and vision coverage. 401k, we do offer a pension, on-the-job training, tuition reimbursement for eligible employees. These are some of the most sought-after jobs in the country. Great employer if you want to stay in Montana. In fact, we just hired 5 employees in the past 6 months, and that was our biggest round of hiring in the past 10 years. People just don't leave the cooperative world. The one great thing about the co-op as well is you can be really passionate about your work because you're serving your neighbors. you're serving fellow members. And then advancement opportunities is something they wanted us to touch on. You can move up in any career path, lineman to foreman, foreman to area foreman, entry-level associate to management, and then we have national organizations and affiliations as well. But again, the workforce challenge for us right now is making sure that we have enough people interested in the trade to help us keep the lights on, literally. Mother Nature doesn't care if it's a holiday or if it's 2 in the morning. If the power goes out, so do we.
I do want to highlight that it's not always negative degrees when they go out. So if you like being outside, like it's just a couple of weeks ago that it gets that bad. Next up, I'll hand it over to Liberty Electric. So it's either Clay or Janice, or someone else, or no one. So maybe we'll move on to Static Solar. All right, this is going well.
I can speak for Static, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'll refer to them. How's that?
Well, okay. Well, we'll just hand you the microphone. This is Jason.
Got up here.
All right.
I'm Jasmine with Diversified Plastics. We are a family-owned company here in Missoula. This is our only location. We make plastic industrial components for lots of industries: water treatment, egg processing, agriculture. We use injection molding and urethane casting and fabrication to make all of our products. So I'm looking for people who are really good with their hands, who maybe don't excel at English. We don't care how good you are at writing. So anyone, any skilled labor, we train on the job in our injection molding and urethane casting side. On our fabrication side, there are 1- and 2-year colleges. College has a 2-year program, Cal-Sal has a 2-year program, and Missoula College has a 1-year program for our CNC machinists. Manual machinists seem to learn on the job as well. That CNC machining has kind of been really hard to find people in. There's just no one interested in learning. We do on-the-job training for them as well. Right now we have what's called Mastercam University available. Mastercam is this CAM software program that we use that interfaces with our machines. So training, they can do it at home. Each course, I think, is about 60 hours, but we pay for it. We also just set up a computer and everything at our office for them to use. So because we have so many big machines, we are considered by Montana law a hazardous work environment, meaning that we can't have anyone under 18 years old work for us. However, we're looking at apprenticeships, so hopefully we can kind of get that going. But we are fine with job shadowing. That seems to be kind of hidden in there. It's okay. And we also our wages are competitive. So for someone starting out right now with 0 experience, it's $15.25. They come out of one of the colleges, we're starting in the $20 an hour range. Again, manual labor, they're on their feet all day long, so it is hard work, but it's good. So we're willing to help any way that we can. We have full benefits too, employer-paid health insurance, 401k, employer-paid HSA contribution. We also, just this year, started doing employer-paid short-term disability, which is, I think, really great. A lot of people that work for us, they like being outdoors, so they hurt themselves on the weekend, they're covered at work. So reach out if there's anything that I can help with. We would love to come to you. We do presentations at your school. We'd love to have them out for a tour. Anything to get these guys interested.
That sounds like a really good opportunity for, especially for kids that don't want to go through a full four-year program. excellent opportunity. I also say that in addition to Diversified Plastic, there are a number of other manufacturing groups within Missoula and the Missoula area, and I'm sure Shane will talk to this later, that are looking for CNC machinists. So if you know kids that are into that, it's not just standing there doing nothing. I mean, it's a great job, and there are plenty of opportunities around the area for folks willing to learn how to do that. Next up, we've got Laura Marshall from Blackfoot. Again, they're our sponsor, so give her a really good round of applause. But I'll let Laura explain what Blackfoot is.
Thank you. Blackfoot's a corporate sponsor because we really believe in education, so it's kind of fun to see a fit for us here. So Blackfoot, we are actually also a cooperative with our friends down the street at MEC. So our history is 66-year-old cooperative started by rural farmers and ranchers who couldn't get phone service. They had to go through, Mabel in the party line back in the 50s. So a lot of innovative people came up with a cooperative. And so we are a voice and data company. We are regional. We have an office in Idaho, of course here. And I have employees all the way from Thompson Falls to Billings, and of course down in Idaho. So we have 188 employees. I think we're kind of a hidden secret here in Missoula because we are growing. Just a few years ago we were 135, so we keep growing. So we, like most other employers, we're seeing a lot of baby boomers leave. So in the last 6 years, I've hired 90 new people. So that includes some growth, obviously, and it also includes the fact that we have people retiring. So there's tons of opportunities, and we want people to figure out whether Blackfoot's a good fit, or just whether different kinds of work is a good fit. So this summer, for example, we're hiring 5, you can call them interns, student employment, whatever you like to call it, but I'm looking for 5 students. I have to admit, I'll look at the university, I'll look at high school. In fact, I've kind of earmarked a couple of them for high school because we believe in this effort so much. And so what do we do with those kids? So first of all, we pay $10 an hour. So that's the first thing. We believe in making sure they understand the value of that give and get, shall we say. So we can custom make some internships or some employment. But last summer, for example, we hired a couple of college students, and they all had different interests. And so we had one gentleman work in our sales department for 2 weeks and then worked with our outside plant crew. So that was just their interest. We are working with Missoula College for the apprenticeship programs. Right now we just hired 2 apprentices, one in IT tech and one in accounting. We're also looking for outside people, so we can design an apprenticeship or, internship around a student who may not want to continue with college but may want to just get their hands dirty and to experience what it's like. So we can custom make some things, but what we're really looking for is people in technology. So the focus of our company is certainly voice and data services, so IT Tech 1s, help desk folks, IT Tech 2s, cybersecurity folks. If somebody's interested in that, would love to pair them up with our network engineers. So there's lots of different opportunities, whether you want to play in the dirt and plow fiber, or whether you'd rather do it, in-house. So that's kind of what Blackfoot is, and we also have a swag table in the back. But more importantly, happy to get calls from you. Like everyone else, it's hard to reach out to you and find where you are. Hi, Katie. Other than these 2 people, I don't know any of you. So from that perspective, I really encourage you to reach out to us, and I hope you take the information sheets, because sometimes it's just hard for us to figure out from the business community where to reach to you. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Laura. I do want to take that opportunity to remind everyone that we are gathering all of this information from all of the panel members, as well as a number of other businesses who are not here today. And we'll make that available to all of you so that you don't have to remember who you heard today necessarily, but you remember, well, that person was really interesting, how do I get a hold of them, open up this document, there it is. Make it really easy for you so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time trying to dig through and figure out how you contact these folks. Next up, I've got Jason, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, from Domo Design Build, and I'll let him explain what they do.
Hi, my last name is DiCunzo. Lots of C's and D's and O's in there. My name is Jason DeCunzo. Our company is Domo Design Build. We're a fairly new company here in Missoula. Started about 3 years ago. We build off-site modular buildings. So everything from, I like to say, doghouses, which we actually have contracts to build a very high-performance doghouse, all the way through hotels. Funny story, I'll be happy to tell anybody wants to know about it. I'm going to spend a lot less time talking about my company and more about a concept that I think is really important and really what I think is the heart of what we're trying to do here. So, construction is my company. It deals with design, innovative technologies, the integration of old world craftsmanship and where we're going to be 5 years from now. And I'm going to try to describe that because I don't know it. Our company makes a connection between how do we create safe, affordable structures, predominantly housing, but we also do some of the things. How do we do that in a dynamic way that always provides the best value, right? So, great. We've all heard that. That's all business stuff that any business person will tell you. What's more important to me about being here today, which none of us really understood exactly what we were going to be doing here, I don't think, so I'm going to wing it. I'm going to flip the script literally. I'm not even going to open this. I came with 3 words that I'd like to talk to you about and leave you with, hoping that it sparks conversation, hoping that it creates more thought. And it's APC. This idea of, I'm going to open my nose, sorry. This idea is awareness is A, perception is P, and connection is C. Awareness, perception, connection. I think those are the building blocks to creating an initiative or a collaboration that allows those of you that are dealing with the potential of our society at a point where they're making decisions with those of us who provide opportunity to maximize that potential. We have to think that way in order for this to become something that works. To me, awareness means what we're doing right now. It's the first part. It's letting you know that there are jobs that are not the bottom line. They aren't the beginning point. They can become careers without college education, number one. That awareness needs to lead then to the perception of what those fields are. Growing up, my father was a general contractor. That was what he was really proud of, but he was also an architect. And he didn't talk about the fact that he was an architect, that he was an award-winning architect who pioneered things that people hadn't even thought of when he did it. What he was most proud of were the homes that he built. And the ones he was most proud of weren't the big, expensive ones. They were for Habitat for Humanity. They were for the state of Montana when nobody else would fulfill a contract. Those were the things that his perception of those things were what drove his career. I mean, it was an amazing thing to grow up with somebody who felt that way about what they did. It wasn't about their education. It wasn't about the letters after his name. He never talked about them. He was most proud of the things that he built that affected somebody else's life. So for me, the word perception is about how do we create a perception in our own society that valid professions exist everywhere. That's the beginning of this change for us. So that's the perception piece. The connection part is you. I mean, bottom line, the connection part is, sure, you understand the tools or you understand the positions. We're all talking about the opportunities that all of our companies can provide. That is less important to me in this discussion than the connection part is, right? At 19, your thoughts and perceptions of your world around you, right? I mean, everybody in this room, we're not unique. Everybody had a different perception then of right now, right? I was incredibly fortunate because somebody like you, Rick Evelyn, in Helena High School, changed my life by not allowing his perception or anybody else's perception of me at the time to change what my potential was. That guy changed my whole life. Literally. I went to college, got a scholarship, I left, and I started and continued to be in business, 4 different businesses. From a very proud straight C student. Middle of my class, 203 out of 507. Man, I just thought that was the best thing that ever happened. The perception, my point is that my perception was changed based on a connection that I made with a single individual. That person didn't change the world, but they changed mine. That's how we start this. One young person at a time who may not understand what their options are. Our job is to provide as many options for that potential as possible and empower them to make decisions that may not be the thing they do the rest of their life. But I guarantee you, those rungs on a ladder of giving an opportunity to somebody to learn a new skill that empowers them to learn again, to me that's the power of learning. If we can teach each other and the people that we work with how to learn, then we have careers the rest of our lives. That's what my company, quite frankly, we set out to do. We don't care what your grades are. We don't care if you're a boy or a girl or whatever your affiliation is. What we care about is, do you have a passion? Can we help you achieve that passion? I think as business people, the moment that we take that on, that's where the connection occurs and this discussion can begin. So I realize that was a whole lot more philosophical than my company, who will also be trying to find CNC people. Well, to that end, I'm sorry, I might be over my time, but I will say that to that end, everything that we can do to forward STEM and STEAM, everything that we can do to create a connection between what is relevant to that young person right now and how that can be relevant to where they're going to be 5 years and 10 years from now, those are the connections that create the building blocks for why my company will be successful. It's not because of me. It's because the people that come work with us may start as, she may have started, I don't know, hauling lumber. She may end up the head of our electrical design team creating solar power for off-grid houses 5 years from now. If we can create those connections, if we can dispel the perceptions that she can't do it or he's not smart enough, if we flip that script to look at what she does well, here's her curiosity, that all begins with you. And believe me, I know how difficult that job is, because one guy changed my world because he refused to accept that his very average C student who is super hyper, never seemed to finish anything. He found he allowed me to be good at what I was good at and encouraged me to do those things and didn't allow me to use those as an excuse. So that's what I want to leave you with, APC. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Jason, you really brought it. Maybe I should let you do my job. All right, next up I'm going to bring out Carl Tyler, IVEW Electrical Services, Comfort Systems, Montana High Tech Alliance, Jackson Construction, and Nature's Best. And while they're all walking up here, I'll kind of dovetail on Jason's points about connections and just remind you that once we finish up here, all of these folks that are up here are going to be down in the lobby, so you'll be able to make actual personal connections with each of them, and if you have any questions specifically for them, you'll be able to ask them. Some of you might get to just hang out down there like me. Also, that microphone does work, so if you want to use that.
You should not have told me that.
All right.
Biggest mistake.
Okay, I'm going to start off with Carl Tyler Chevrolet. Right here? I should have known by the name.
It's not very big, but thanks for your time today. I really appreciate you guys coming out and listening to what these organizations and companies locally have to offer for, I think, a really talented, vibrant workforce in Missoula that doesn't quite know how to make the connections with our organizations. A little bit about our dealership and our organization. So, well, first myself, I've been with the dealership for 28 years of its 33 years here in Missoula. Being locally owned, we got 9 locations and 250 plus employees in those locations. And of those 250, less than 10% carry a college education or degree. So the majority of our workforce is straight from a high school or even below education. The biggest thing that we try and promote isn't necessarily selling cars, it's our culture. You know, when you think of a car dealership, you think of car sales. And you'll hear this 10% a couple times today, but less than 10% of our employees actually sell cars. The majority of our employees are towing, body shop, accounting, customer service, and a whole realm of different occupations within our organization. But really what we believe in is our culture, and we believe that the sale of a car, the fixing of a car, the towing of a car, all the other things that we interact with the customer, all of those things are really just a conduit to excel at what we believe in, and that's just supplying extremely good customer service and exceeding customers' expectations. And then also a big part of our culture is helping our employees verbalize and find goals for themselves, and then helping them achieve those goals, because we find if our employees are achieving those goals, well then we as an organization are also achieving our goals. So we really try and perpetuate goal finding and helping our employees figure out what's important to them in life, and it could be in their profession, it could be outside, it could be personal, and really try and perpetuate those goals that they have. And as far as hiring, we try and hire people to fit in that culture. We hire for personality, not talent or skill set, because we believe that we can teach that. They have to come with the right personality and the right type of desire to fit into our culture. When we do that, the rest is easy. You know, we can provide training in-house and outside of our facility to help them then develop the skill set to be more successful. And the opportunities that we have, like I said, is the sales. We got mechanics, customer service, body shop, towing, accounting. We have a really large accounting department for all of our locations. In that, I think we've got 22 to 23 specified accounting positions, and we're always looking to advance that. And that is typically not something seen in our industry where people are aware of that. The type of training that we offer is we have all kinds of in-house training. We also look outside. A good example of us trying to help people achieve their goals is we have a young man that currently works for us, and we were trying to figure out how to get him some outside training as a mechanic. So we came up with the idea of, he applied for the College of Southern Idaho. It's a 2-year program, 8 weeks at school, 8 weeks back in the dealership. He went and we had him apply for student loans. He acquired student loans, and we actually are paying his student loan payment as long as he works for us. He's finished his 2 years with that program. He's back to working for us full time, and it's just a simple contract that we make his student loan payment every single month while he's employed with us. And I think that's good. It's proven to help him achieve his goals. It's definitely achieving ours, because now we have a trained, hardworking, dedicated employee that's helping perpetuate our culture. A lot of the benefits that we have at our dealership is obviously on the job training. We supply paid holidays, paid vacation, insurance, just a typical benefit package that a young person in the workforce would be looking for. And that's really what I got. I really appreciate your guys' time and coming up and helping us have the opportunity. Yes.
Do you offer employee discounts for your products?
Oh, absolutely. That's a big one. Thank you very much. Absolutely. But I really think this is very important. I'm not going to speak near as eloquently as Jason did about the connection and trying to make that connection with the young workforce out there, and then the opportunities that we have with our local organizations. But I really appreciate everybody's time and effort in putting this together. This is something that I think has been needed for lots of years. So thank you for everybody's time.
Just out of curiosity, how many of you have student loans? How many of you wish someone else would pay them? Next up, I'll hand the microphone over to IBEW Electrical Apprenticeships.
Hi, my name is Andrew Galway. I'm a business representative for Local 768, and we're on behalf of the JATC.
And name's Ben Dawson. I'm an assistant business manager with IBW Local 768.
Oh, union!
So I guess what we're here to talk about today is our apprenticeship that's offered. Not only do we have blended learning with on hands, we also have
Well, so one thing is, I think, talking about that perception and awareness piece, a lot of people think of the construction trades and they're like, oh, you know, I'm going to be overweight and have a plumber's crack. I mean, but here's the thing. How many of our tradespeople graduate making more money and debt-free? So, like, the slogan is you learn while you earn. Our students go through, they get wonderful training in Helena. They don't have to go into debt to do it. The other members pay into a fund for the education, so our new people don't have to pay that. Because we believe people should graduate from a program and be able to go look to buy a house, look to buy a car. So that's really a big piece of it. And it's a combination of class work with instructor oversight, which also includes like book work. So somebody's not just given a textbook and said, figure it out. You actually get professional assistance. So one of the things I like about a union job site is we have less accidents, and part of that is we really honor that 2-to-1 ratio. If you're an apprentice on one of our jobs, you're going to have at least 2 journeymen looking out for you, making sure you're not doing anything stupid. And when you work with electricity, mistakes are costly, and they're important to monitor. Yeah.
So basically what we have is we have a 5-year school. And you go to school for 5 weeks a year for 5 years. So then all of your schooling is paid for as you do it. So by the time you get out, you basically get an associate's degree that's already paid for. So all of our guys, when they graduate out and become a journeyman, they're at $30.51 an hour. They get 3 different pensions and a personal care account, plus full family health insurance and savings, which is pretty well.
Yeah, and so the personal care account, it's 20 cents for every hour they work. It gets contributed, and essentially like a debit card they can use to pay deductibles, any type of cost. And the thing is, it doesn't expire at the end of the year. It rolls with them. So we have some of our electricians that literally carry that account into retirement. They want to retire early and they want to pay for their premiums before they qualify for Medicare. They'll pull from that account. You can use it for your children. The thing is, we also pay for the insurance for our employees, and it's a $400 deductible for the individual, $1,200 for family, and you don't pay any different whether you have 5 kids or just you and your wife. So it's not just that it's healthcare; it's like affordable healthcare, not catastrophic care. I think the thing I would say is an apprenticeship is really an extension of learning based off of the whole European model, which is somebody can graduate our apprenticeship and have a career full of dignity and respect and be responsible members of their society. And we really want to encourage you guys that if you see someone who's taken shop, taken auto, likes working with their hands, and encourage them to take a look at the trades, because they might be a lot happier there than spending 2 years floundering around in higher ed when maybe that would have never been a good fit for them. But you have the skills and the opportunity to see that and try to match it up. And we're in all 50 states. Somebody gets their journeyman's ticket in Montana, as long as they do the licensing requirements of each state. We have a lot of people that travel, go work in San Francisco and Utah. They follow the highest paying job, and they can do that with an IBEW apprenticeship. So just a little bit about us. And,
yeah, basically, one more thing that basically all of our guys will go to apply for an application at MontanaElectricalJATC.org, and that's how they go and apply for an application. Then they have a reading math comprehension test that they have to pass, and then from there they're scored and put on a list for a contractor's performance.
And I'll say one other thing about apprenticeships. I think since 2000, the amount of people who graduate an apprenticeship that stay in Montana is 88%. So from an employer perspective, if you're wondering how do you retain and keep people, apprenticeships are a great way to build loyalty, build skill sets, and to retain them. There's nothing worse than training somebody for 5 years and then them run away. So apprenticeships offer that opportunity.
guys, next up we've got Comfort Systems USA. Just use the microphone behind me.
Wanted to use the microphone stand, like rock star.
Knock it over when you're done.
My name is Rachel. I'm the HR
I think you turned it off.
Can you hear me now? My name is Rachel. I'm the HR manager at Temporary Service, and we are a subsidiary of Comfort Systems USA. We are HVAC, refrigeration, and plumbing company. And I have been here since September, so I'm a transplant from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I am here today with my colleague, Dale, because we want to open the dialogue with all of you who are in the trenches with our future workforce. And we want to figure out how we can connect with these students and get them interested and spark that fire for the trade. Last week, Friday, I attended a women's workshop. It was for women and non-traditional people who work in the trade. And I will tell you that the energy there was absolutely amazing. And it completely inspired me to try to figure out how to find those people so they can come and work for us. I'll tell you right now, we don't have the scholarships set up. We don't have official programs to try to recruit people into our company, but we want to develop those, and we want to know how to partner with all of you and find out what would be of value to them. In Green Bay, I know companies that recruit at the middle school and high school level, and they will pay for students to attend college or technical school as long as they work for their company for 2 years. And I think it's really important because I think that group of students that have the technical aptitude and the mechanical skills, I don't know that there are a lot of advocates for them in the education system. And what I mean by that is when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my career, I knew I didn't want to be a machinist and I didn't want to be a nurse. That's what my mom and dad did. So I didn't have a lot of exposure to anything else. And I challenged the rest of the community and the other employers here for us to collaborate together and figure out how do we get a presence in the school and how do we start that conversation, because I think it's really, really important. Derek, I brought Derek, and I think he got a haircut for the occasion. He is one of our younger guys, and I just kind of wanted him to tell his story so you could understand his perspective. And it may not be that different than some of your students that are out there. So this is Derek.
So I've been a temporary for about a year and a half, and I graduated high school in 2015. And in high school, trades weren't even really mentioned. It's just college. So a lot of students, they all went to college, and a lot of my friends from high school dropped out of college, and now they're looking for jobs, and some found trades. And I just think it'd be a good idea to introduce the idea of trades and other jobs that don't require an education.
And did you go to college?
I did go to college for a year and a half, right out of high school. Now I'm in a trade, and I'm glad I did it. Don't regret it at all.
We have really, really unique opportunities to offer apprenticeship in that education and on-the-job training, and to earn a really, really good and honest living, and to be proud. You were talking about how proud you are of the things that you create. I see that every single day. And so we just need your help to figure out how we can work together and light that fire.
All right, thanks, you guys. I want to say two things about Comfort Systems or Temporary. One, They take care of the HVAC system at the Chamber of Commerce, so I'm super thankful for them, especially on cold days. The second thing I want to mention, and this actually applies to a lot of these trades, is that these are excellent pathways into owning your own business as well. My brother-in-law actually started out as an HVAC installer and went from that and grew it into his own business where he was going out and doing jobs on his own, being his own boss. So if you're looking at kids that are looking for ways that they don't have to work for the man, the trades are an excellent opportunity. So a lot of these opportunities are great pathways into getting to that place in life. Next up, we've got the Montana High Tech Alliance, and you can either hand them that microphone or I can run this one.
Okay. Good morning. I am Christina Henderson. I'm the Executive Director of the Montana High Tech Business Alliance, and I would also, is it on?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say that again. My name is Christina Henderson. I'm the Executive Director of the Montana High Tech Business Alliance, and I would also like to introduce Katie Spence, our Communications Director over here. Katie is also representing us today at our booth, and is a great source of information. I would like to say, first of all, I started my career as a middle school English teacher. So for 4 years in Minnesota and Michigan, I sat where many of you all were sitting as a professional educator in continuing education courses, and we never once had an opportunity to interface with the business community as part of our professional development. So I would just like to thank the Chamber and the Missoula County Public Schools for having the vision to put something like this together, because there's so few opportunities for the business side and the education side to interface. So this is wonderful. And there are 3 things that I would like, hopefully, for you to take away today. First, I hope that you'll get an understanding of the volume of high-paying jobs that are available to your students in high-tech and manufacturing in the Missoula area today and in the future. Second, I hope that we can broaden our perceptions of who belongs in tech. I think many of the speakers so far have done a great job of setting that up, but I hope to do it even further. And third, I hope that you'll see the Montana High Tech Business Alliance as a resource for you as educators for what you're doing in the classroom and to further your students. So we are an association of high-tech and manufacturing companies across the state. We have 370 member organizations. Many of them you've already heard from today and will hear from. But about a quarter of them are located here in Missoula. We do a number of things. We connect our members together, so we have networking events and try to introduce them to partners throughout the state. We also work to promote the industry and conduct a high-tech industry survey every year. And we've also done research on entrepreneurship in Montana. So those case studies are all available on our website if you're interested in kind of more data on what's happening in high tech in Montana. And then we also work to help our members fill jobs. So in our surveys every year, the #1 barrier to growth for our member companies is finding adequate talent, skilled talent. So that's always been the #1 challenge. So that's one that we're working to fill. This industry, high-tech and manufacturing, according to our surveys, it's growing 9 times the overall Montana economy. These jobs pay twice the median wage. Last year, they represented $1.7 billion in revenue and brought nearly 1,300 jobs into Montana, and it just continues to grow. Wages in this industry, the average for our members is about $65,000 a year, and it continues to grow 5% every year. And for so long, the story in Montana has been that when our young people graduate or they leave for college or they graduate from college and they have to leave the state, but that's increasingly no longer the case. We have all kinds of companies with great high-paying jobs for them, and we want them to stay in Montana if they can. So the second thing, I think one of our biggest challenges in filling our workforce is that we have a perception that tech is for males and for like nerdy computer geeks who want to hang out in their basements play video games and don't like to talk to people. And it's like if you look at computer science classrooms, like I speak to computer science classes, if you look at classes in high school, a lot of those courses that are geared toward computers and technology tend to be very heavily male. And students start to self-select beginning in elementary school. Young girls don't see themselves as fitting into tech, or that tech has things for them that fits with their interests. A lot of girls really care about people and helping people, and so if we can emphasize that computer science and tech is about problem solving and getting to help people, that tends to attract more men and girls. So for an example, one of the computer science professors at the University of Montana created a course that was about, helping people through computers, and this course attracted like half of his class was cheerleaders and young women that he would normally not see in his classes, just because he reframed the way that computer science is being presented from being a very techy, antisocial field into something that would attract a wider variety of personalities. So for those of you who are educators, I hope that you will kind of reframe what culture might be telling you about who fits in tech and who belongs in this field. If you look at our jobs portal, about a quarter of the jobs that we have available, so at mthighTech.org/jobs, we have a jobs portal we maintain for our members that includes internships and apprenticeships all the way down to high school. So it's a great resource for your students. But about a quarter of those jobs are in programming and computer science. A quarter are in manufacturing. So, everything that you've heard so far is true. Like, there are tons of manufacturing jobs available. And then there's a whole variety of other jobs that are also available in tech. So sales and customer support, front-end development, if you have students that like communication and writing and visual arts and things like that, there's a place for them in tech too. If they're very social and love people, if they're the cheerleaders that love everybody, there's a place for them in tech. Accountants, like, it's not just the highly technical roles that we need, it's a whole variety of positions. And here in Missoula, one company that I think sort of is an indication of what's coming in the future is Advanced Technology Group, or ATG. So if you have not heard, ATG was acquired by a huge global corporation, Cognizant, just at the end of last year, and they're planning to create likely hundreds of jobs in Missoula in the coming years. They started a fantastic training partnership with Missoula College, and they're now paying students fresh out of college or reinventing themselves career-wise. They're getting paid $14 an hour to go through this training, and then they'll be on this highly paid career ladder at ATG, but they're going to continue to put classes through every month of these trainees, and so hundreds of high-paying jobs coming into Missoula, and they're just one company. If you look at Onyx Maps and other companies, there's tons of jobs available. And so the last thing is, I hope that you'll see us as a resource, so we're happy to come and talk to your students, help you find guest speakers. If you have programs that you're trying to promote to the business community, if you're in robotics teams or going to state or whatever, please reach out to us and we can help promote those programs and be a resource for you as well. Thank you.
And last for the panel, we have Jackson Construction.
So my name is Bill Fritz. I'm the operations manager of Jackson Contractor Group. We're based out of here in Missoula, but we do work from North Dakota, Wyoming, Washington, eastern Washington, eastern Idaho, or eastern Oregon and Idaho. But we're a true general contractor. We hire everything from operators, engineers, accountants, HR people, estimators, all the way down to our tradesmen. And that, and like everybody's been talking about, is we're trying to help fix the perception. Our limiting factor, like everybody else's, is in what the perception or getting it out there. How do people get into the trades? A few things that we did, and some of you might have been involved last year, is Missoula Under Construction, looking at those grade school type kids so they could get out there and touch the equipment and see what it's about. We look across the street, we got signs that say keep out, don't touch, and everything. So that was something to get everybody in there. Also, like other people talk about, is job shadowing. So we've had high school students shadow our safety individuals, carpenters, engineers, and our accounting type people. So that's an opportunity to get them in and see what it's about being in a company. Another thing that we've offered is a junior apprenticeship program that we're very excited about. This will be our 5th year, and offering a job to a high school student that's between their junior and senior year. I'm sure a lot of you guys, I see you shaking your heads, have heard about it, but last year we had 26 kids that applied for the program. Of those kids, about 80% of them were 4.0 students. So this wasn't always just the kids that are in the lower grades or anything, so we're getting a lot of them. And of those kids that are graduating, we're trying to get them into the trades. We've had guys that have gone into electrical apprenticeship out of ours, have gone to engineering school, but we're just trying to get people into the industry. The nice thing also, working with the Department of Labor, is those hours that those kids earn on that junior apprenticeship program go towards their apprenticeship when they come back after that, should they continue on that. So, again, we have a lot of things that we like to do. Over at Big Sky, the math teachers have asked us to come in and help teach classes so we can bring a real-world application of how we use math in the industry, and so they can see it, and then you can just see the kids' eyes light up when they say, oh, now I get it. So I think that's the biggest thing is call us up. We're happy to come in for all of your classes and work with them. We can have our accountants work with your accounting classes. We can work with your math classes. We do a lot of technical writing, proposal writing. So the gamut is unlimited is what we do.
Hey, thanks, Pam. For the last panel of the industrial trades in tech, I'm going to bring out the Montana Jobs Board, Montana Logging Association, Advanced Installations, YWCA, Slutton Construction, Carpenters Union, and I'm bringing up my buddy from Bashore Land Management. While they're all walking up here, I know you guys have been sitting for a while. Why don't everyone stand up and stretch for a second? Get some blood flowing a little bit. We've got a few folks left here from the Industrial Trades and Tech. So first up, I'm going to start off with the Montana Logging Association.
Thank you. My name is Brian Larango. I've been working for the association for 7 years now. Just a show of hands, how many of you attended at that time Max Fox's Economic Summit in Butte 2013? So I can't lie, I loved it. But what was interesting, I attended that Economic Summit, and they had some pretty heavy hitters there. A lot of Fortune 500 companies, ConocoPhillips, Ford, Exxon was there, Delta, just to name a few. But one of the things I found interesting was it was hosted at Montana Tech, and they talked about engaging the workforce. And the theme there, a lot of it, at least what I got out of it was they could engage the folks that were post-secondary education, but they struggled with the K-12 arena. So I left there. I've served 4 terms on our local school board, thinking, how do we engage our local youth and make sure that they have a chance and be prepared out of high school. And our community the demographics are a little different than Missoula. We have 70+% free and reduced lunch, 1 in 4 on IEPs, and I thought to myself, how am I as a board member maybe can influence some policy change that might help our students to be prepared for when they leave high school. So a few of the things that we did, and I was glad to hear your superintendent talk about earmarking money and budget appropriations at the state level to go towards dual credit. At one time, Adcon had the highest dual enrollment in the state, and we earmarked $25,000 out of our budget to make sure that those students that were going to go to the post-secondary realm had the opportunity to get there. We also worked hard on developing a 4-tier graduation track so that the students that were going to college, that we could challenge those folks, but also the folks that were going into the trades, that we had opportunities for them. So we at that time with declining enrollment, closed a grade school, moved our middle school to a high school, and at that time we built a new technology center. vocational center that is 712 now. So I'm proud to say that our middle school students are now taking shop classes, and hopefully that will help those folks land jobs in the future. So a little bit about Montana Logging Association. We have 500 members around the state. Most of them are family-owned, average contractor, five employees, and these are the folks that harvest and transport the logs from the hills to the mills. We also have associate board, and that's made up of locally RDO John Deere, Western States Cat, Modern Machinery and Komatsu, and Titan Machinery, just to name a few of those folks that we work with on a day-to-day basis. So, as you probably well know, we've lost a few sawmills in the last 30 years in Montana, but I bet most of you would not know that we still mill as much as those 20 years ago. So our milling capacity went down, but with technology, we're producing as much lumber in the state of Montana we did 20 years ago. We also have an accredited logging professional program. This is a week course at Yellow Bay at Flathead Lake, and we bring our contractors and their employees, and we talk about accredited logging professional. And that's geared at how do we deal with each individual landowner, what their goals and objectives are. And I won't steal too much of that thunder because Zach will probably speak to more on how he deals with landowners. Why are we a vibrant industry? We do provide the greenest building material here in the world. And I know we got a carpenter here that will attest to that as well. And we're proud of that. But we also have a forest health crisis. There's a stat that come out of the U.S. Forest Service recently. For every 1 cubic foot of merchantable timber that goes into our local sawmills, 6 of them are dying in the forest. So I think folks would rather see those harvested rather than suffering wildfires that we seem to have more of every year. I know the state legislature had to convene a special session to balance the budget, and the federal government 2 years ago spent over $1 billion on fire. So I think we'd rather see that money spent to in your arena rather than going up in smoke. So I think we're in a good position going forward. We actively work with all our agencies and have a good relationship with those folks. But we do have an aging workforce, as many industries do, and trying to recruit and attract the next employees is a struggle for us because we don't have a face in the community. Our guys are up early in the morning. I hauled logs at one time. My day started at midnight, 1 in the morning. So how do we engage and promote what we do? So I guess that they're pretty desperate and they hired me. But we're looking for, there's hundreds of jobs in our industry right now. And I'm not just talking logging, I'm talking wood products in general. And whether that's a truck driver, we've recently partnered with Flathead Valley Community College, with the CDL program. I take out 4 high school classes a year during Wood Products Appreciation Week. And I'm looking at counselors, I'm looking at the vocational departments, I'm taking out biology and science because we're talking silviculture, we're talking disease and insects, and the art of growing trees, and determining which one should stay and which one should be taken out. Again, Zach, I don't want to talk over you now. So, but we have a need for labor. And some of those are manual positions, some of those are not. But we also are very high tech. We've evolved as an industry. We don't have near the amount of people in the workforce, but we have a lot of mechanized logging equipment that is computer based. And so we'll take, we've worked with Caterpillar and John Deere, and we have simulators we bring into high schools, expose those students. And a lot of those were focused in rural communities where we have a milling infrastructure. So we're trying to promote that and engage. But we do, during Wood Products Week, I serve Southwest Montana in our membership, and Missoula is part of that. If you have a teacher, counselor that would like to get out, take your students out and visit an active logging job, do a mill tour, we'll help arrange that. We got boots on the ground in all areas. Got our office in Kalispell, and I have a coworker there and one that works out of his house in Harlingen. So I won't take up too much of your time, and I appreciate the opportunity here.
I'll let Zach from Beshore Land Management talk a little bit more about the logging industry. He's a land manager. The thing I will point out, though, is that much like the lineman jobs, a lot of these jobs are opportunities to work outside. So if you've got kids that want to be outside working with their hands, these are excellent opportunities for really well-paying careers.
Thank you, guys. Well, first off, I just want to kind of capitalize off the Logging Association talking about how old these guys are. And it's not that they can't retire, it's that they don't want to. I mean, I've got guys that have been working jobs I have that are 60-plus years old. I've had his family working, and they just don't want to. They love it that much. And if anything, that speaks magnitudes to getting young people involved. I kind of come from a little bit of a different regime than what the average high school student would go through. I went to school for forestry here at the university. Every summer I fought fire for the Forest Service, started my own company, and through there I've just kind of been working on capitalizing off creating workforce. We have, as Brian said, a dire forest health issue in this state. Out of that, to start addressing it, really you need to create understanding of it, and to create understanding of it, you need to start people young and get them out in the woods and capitalize on their interests, their passions, and find their talents. And that's what I specialize in. Is I work with these kids personally and figure out job placement for them. Probably not going to be through my company. My company doesn't directly offer long-term careers. I do a lot of subcontracting. I work with landowners. I set up the project, and then I find the right companies to do the jobs. But out of that, most of these companies are really missing the people and the boots on the ground to do it. And so, and to put it pretty broadly, there is a fit for every single person in natural resources, whether it be that they just want to run a chainsaw and learn the art of dropping trees, and that's it. I've got a lot of people that love doing that, and they don't really care to know too much about why they're doing it. They just like to trade. Or, you know, they might be a math or a statistics magician, wizard. So they might really love doing forest inventory and learning prescriptions and why you're cutting some trees to, 14 foot. I'm not going to get to it. But regardless, there's a place for everybody. Even the ones that want to surpass it typing, like doing spreadsheets, everything. There's companies poised with a need for that, and the more we can fill those gaps, the more work that can be done on the ground. Other than that, thank you.
I'll just tell you that if you want to see Zach really light up, just go ask him about trees. I've done that a number of times because I like trees too, but he's a wealth of information about trees. So if you have trees or like trees, talk to Zach and he'll light up. Next up, we've got Sletton Construction.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Cohen, HR with Sletton Construction. Our corporate office is in Great Falls, Montana. We are a general contractor. We are a union contractor as well in Montana. We have office here in Missoula, and then we have one in Billings, and we have offices in 4 other states. We have multiple divisions from industrial to bridge, energy inspections, building, and corrections. We're a good mid-sized company. We sit about 450 employees, but last year we peaked at over 900, depending on the number of projects and support that we have going on. We do offer job shadows, so that's a big one that we get the high school kids in there. They can shadow the superintendent, project manager, project engineer, estimating, even accounting, HR support. Then we offer internships, and right now we do have high school interns out on the job site at the Great Falls High School project that we're working on now. So it's a great way to get out there on the field, in the trailer, getting both working with the superintendent, the project managers, and so forth. We pay for our internships. So the high school student, he's at $12 an hour right now. We work around his schedule. We also offer internships for college students. So those going in, typically like civil engineering, construction management, we offer those internships. And those typically around $15 an hour, and then we bump them up as they return because we like to have them come back. Internships are a great way for them to figure out if we're a fit for them, if they're a fit for us, if they're going down the right path. Here locally, we have the projects are Hawthorne Elementary and Willard Alternative that we're still on. We just finished up the Jeanette Rankin Elementary School, but we'll have opportunities this summer as well for your students to come and work with us. And we have been trying to be very proactive about the need for trades. So we've been scheduling schools the last now 2 years all throughout Montana and into Wyoming. That we come in there, we talk to the students, whether it's wood shop, engineering classes, architectural classes, industrial tech. So we're being proactive, coming out there. I bring a team with me, project manager, superintendent. We've had Derek with the Carpenters Union come in and join us. I've got a couple other companies coming to join us here pretty soon at Hellgate High School. So we're happy to get out there, and that's what we're doing, is we're trying to bring that awareness, show them the different career paths, whether they get in as a laborer and then work their way through to foreman, superintendent, and project manager down the road. Just like I said, just to show that industry, we're not just, tooting Latin's horn. We're out there just showing what the need is across the board, from electricians to iron workers to carpenters. We do offer multiple benefits. We're 100% employee-owned company, and that's really unique in the construction industry. It makes a difference on our decisions every day, and everyone impacts your coworker. And then lastly, we do offer tuition reimbursement. We offer training, on-the-job training, all that good stuff. And then just one more thing is, I think we're a great resource as well. A lot of us are tied to different organizations. I'm on the Workforce Development Committee for Montana Contractors Association. And we're actually creating a scholarship to help students who are just going to go out into the workforce, that they can use that money for work boots or tools or what have you. So there's other resources out there to help students get their foot in the door as well. So I would just like to say that we're definitely a resource for you guys. And what I've been doing with setting up the school is I've just been going directly out to the industrial tech teachers, reaching out to them and getting those dates set up. But I'm happy to set those up within the schools.
All right, and last on this panel is the Carpenters Union.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Derek Hitt. I'm with the Carpenters Local 82. I'm here to talk to you guys about our apprenticeship program. We offer a 4-year program for all of our entry-level carpenters. With that program, we teach everybody from the basic soft skills of, showing up on time, making sure you're not having your phone on, stuff of that nature. But also help them embrace, more technical stuff like how to build the proper wall, how to make sure that everything is good on that. But also we have more stuff on that. Our 3rd-year kids are actually able to go to our ITC, which is in Las Vegas, our international training facility, and there they will take part in one of our classes there. The facility is over 2 million square feet and trains everything from underwater welding to millwright work on turbines. And we also cover just more than just carpenters. We also cover millwrights, we cover pile bugs, and also underwater welders, which sounds a little different coming from a carpenter. But a lot of our stuff with the millwrights is super precision work with calculations up to the 1/10 of a thousandth of an inch. So precision work on that is cool. We're also starting our guys out at 1760 as our apprentices. But with that, we also expect them to, come out there with passion to learn this craft. And with that, we also teach them all the basic skills that they need to go on. That's pretty much all of that.
Thanks, you guys. You're welcome to return to your seats or the back of the room. We have one last panel to bring up. It's from the health sciences field of the business world. So I'll bring up Hillside Health and Rehabilitation, AHEC, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Planners, Allegiance, and Missoula Development Services Corporation. All right, we're going to start off with Hillside Health and Rehabilitation. This is Nikki.
Good morning. My name is Nikki Martins. I am the Regional HR Director for the Goodman Group. The Goodman Group is the managing company for places like Bernice is administrator up at Hillside. So we are a company who is family owned. We've been in business 50 plus years. We are based out of Minnesota, and we are in independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing facilities. So most of you would be familiar in the Missoula area with probably Village Healthcare, Village Senior Residence, right by the community campus. Okay, those are usually the ones most people know. We actually have 4 skilled nursing facilities here in Missoula. 3, and then 1 in Hamilton and 1 assisted living here in Missoula. So we do supply a lot of jobs here for the Missoula folks. We are considered healthcare, absolutely. We are 24/7 operation. And what we really look for, I mean, being that I'm in HR, I've been in healthcare for a long time, not only here in Montana, but also in Washington. And, you know, we really try and figure out what it is that why would students look to work in a skilled nursing facility? I mean, for many of you, you might have right away just went, ew. I'm just going to be honest, you know, there's a stigma about it, right? And it's not a great one that exists out there. But I will tell you, just from a personal note, that it's not a true stigma. It's not a true testament of who we are or what we do as an organization or as a company. What we are about is honestly making moments matter for people. These are individuals who were your grandparents, are your grandparents. These are individuals who are loved ones who have come away from a hip surgery and are needing just that additional care while they get back on their feet. You know, this allows you to have your lives continued in some ways without interruption, because we take on the care of your loved ones, okay? And we do love them, and for many of them, they are in their last chapters of their lives. And so that's what we really try and impart to high school students, is that this isn't just a job, it is a career, and it is a career full of purpose and passion. It is a career that really makes a difference in the lives of people. And all you have to do is walk onto one of our campuses to know the differences that are being made for these people. And so I'm going to let Bernice speak to that, and then maybe we'll just come back to me really quickly just to give you the, you know, what we can offer for your students. But I do want you to understand what we're about, really.
Thank you, Nikki. So I'd like to speak as a person who came out through the company. I started at an entry-level position as a rehabilitation aide while I was going to college, trying to figure out what I was going to do with myself. I met the first couple of residents, and I was hooked. So it's a career that I did not anticipate having, but I will say it's incredibly rewarding. I really love being able to watch entry-level position people grow through the company. We're really passionate about that, growing our own. So I really encourage people of all different walks to really think about healthcare as a career. It's not going away. It's only going to get more needed. As you guys know, there's a silver tsunami coming, as you guys have all talked about. Aging workforces are retiring. Not everybody can have the luxury of staying at home. Most people are in families that have jobs and careers that can't just stop working to take care of mom or dad. So the need for healthcare workers is immense. It's not going anywhere. We recognize that. We have a lot of career opportunities for people, career paths for CNAs on up through nurses, where we offer all the things that everybody else has talked about. You know, we pay for a lot of different things. But again, it's an industry where really my phone was ringing. Sorry, guys. You gotta confiscate it. You're gonna It's my alarm. I have a meeting I'm supposed to be at. So, at any rate, you can grow. We take everybody from kitchen workers, housekeepers, people that really want to be CNAs. Thank you. It won't shut up, sorry. It's fine to me no matter where I'm at in the building. Let's see here. So anyway, job growth, career advancement, obviously, like I said, silver tsunami is not going away. We need good, caring workers in the environment that I work in. And we're passionate, and it shows. Nobody sits at home and says they want to go to a nursing home, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun when you get there.
So if I could just speak to that a little bit too, around what does it look like for your students? You know, what would you want to share with your students? I would just say, you know, it's a real, we really try and create a culture. You know, we've heard that word a few times up here, but a culture really of one where you feel a sense of belonging. Okay, I've learned, you know, just in my career and working with the younger people coming up that, you know, while money is important, and we all know that that is necessary, we're all in different places in our lives, though. Many of us have homes, we have mortgages, we have kids, we have other needs that we need to financially support. But for those students, really, they want to know that they belong to someone, you know, that they have a team that they work with. That tends to be their number one over anything. And so we really try and create that. We try and create that, whether that be through, you know, working with Big Sky High School and their healthcare program, whether it be looking at working with the healthcare apprenticeship program through the Department of Labor and Industry, and also within our own mentorship program. We want those younger to feel that they have a friend, right? I mean, it's important to feel like you have a friend. It's like being at school, you know, coming in from, you know, having just moved here and coming into a classroom and not knowing anybody. That's how the workplace can feel too. You know, you walk in and you don't know anyone. So our goal is, how do we ensure that they feel a part of us right away? You know, how do we ensure that they're properly equipped, properly trained, you know, but more importantly, that they have someone that they can connect and talk to. So that's really where we try and, I think, look different, and how we like our buildings to look too, and how we like to interact not only with our residents but also interacting with one another. So the last thing I would just say is that we do offer a CNA program, and as Bernice said, you know, there are many steps within healthcare that you can take, but CNA is a great entry-level position. It is one that we provide our own classes for, and we've graduated over 200 students out of that in the year 2018. So it is one that is sought after, and not only does that provide help to our, you know, specific needs, but it also just provides help to healthcare in general. And I've heard kind of that statement too about the trades, you know, and just that they work together to help one another. And I find that often in healthcare too. We really work together to, you know, try and figure out how we're going to ward off this national crisis, because it's here. We're in the midst of it, and we all want to be sure our loved ones are cared for when the time is necessary. Thanks for having us.
Probably could have introduced yourself, but I gotta keep my job. So next up we have Carly from AHEC, and I'll let you explain what AHEC is.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carly Holman, and I'm with the Western Montana Area Health Education Center. And I'm also with University of Montana Health and Medicine. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how both those organizations have resources to support students interested in healthcare, but also how we can be a resource to you in terms of guiding the students that you're working with who may be interested in healthcare. So it's really great to follow Nikki and Bernice, because they really set the stage of, we have a really fast-growing healthcare industry. We're only going to see more jobs, and that healthcare is a really great path for students, because it's not only a job, but it's a career. So from certificate level, entry-level positions, all the way up to looking at nurse practitioner and physician-level jobs. So if they're interested in health and supporting others and working on a team, this is a great place to start. So Western Montana Area Health Education Center, we're all about healthcare workforce development. We're located at Missoula College, and we really support colleges and healthcare employers in western Montana, but AHEC, we're statewide. We have 5 offices as well as a state office in Bozeman. So for students even with the slightest interest in healthcare, AHEC is a great place to start. We're really focused on healthcare career awareness, which really is introducing students to the wide variety of opportunities in the healthcare field, and then talking about the education and training that's required to really pursue those pathways. So from a student perspective, something that I wanted to share with you all is we put on MedStart camps every summer. Multiple camps across the state, but for any student who's a sophomore or junior in high school, this is a great opportunity to kind of jump in and learn a little bit more about the healthcare field. So throughout this week of camp, students are introduced to faculty members as well as current health profession students on campus. We set up job shadow opportunities so they can get their feet on the ground and really get a sense of what some of these professions they're interested in do on a day-to-day basis. And then as well as looking at financial aid and all of those pieces that go along with going to college. Something that we really care about at AHEC is we understand that college is a huge investment, both financially and time. And sometimes we find with students, they're thinking, oh yeah, I want to go into healthcare and I want to be a nurse, without maybe necessarily understanding what a nurse does on a day-to-day basis, or that there's respiratory therapists and surgical technologists. So our goal is really to make sure if students are going to take that pathway and enter a healthcare training program, that they really understand what they're getting into and they're set up for success from the start. So our MedStart applications are up on our website, and I think they're open through March 15th. So I encourage you to direct sophomore and juniors to apply. And then something else that I want to share with you all is every year at AHEC we put together these Pathways to Healthcare career brochures. I'll have some during the networking session to share, but this outlines all of the training programs, certificate level all the way through graduate level, and where they're located at, which college across the state, what are online. So it's a great map when you're really looking at supporting students to identify different training programs and career paths. So now I'm going to switch gears and talk a little bit about University of Montana Health and Medicine, which is a great local resource for students interested in pursuing healthcare careers. So UMHM, I'm going to say moving forward, another acronym, really represents all of the healthcare training programs both at Missoula College and the University of Montana. And we're really focused on enhancing academic opportunities on campus as well as community outreach. So for students who are at the University of Montana, we have created what we call our community of learners. And it's a way to engage students across health professions training programs early on in their education, because we know when they go out into the healthcare setting, they're going to be working on teams. But what we're looking to do is to expand our community of learners to any high school students as well as community members who are interested in what's going on in terms of health and medicine at the University of Missoula College. So if you go to our website, umt.edu/UMHM, it's a great kind of entry point for students to learn what's happening locally in Missoula. We also highlight students, faculty members, so it's a great resource in terms of what's going on, and we list events. And you can join the Community of Learners listserv. I swear we don't send out a lot of communications, only about twice a semester, but just to engage students a little bit in terms of what's offered here at the university. And once again, just to expand their awareness of the wide variety of training and research opportunities in healthcare. I'm going to make sure I cover all my points here. Lastly, we just opened up a space, UMHM did, in the University Center. So this serves kind of as a kiosk. Students, community members can come and learn a little bit more about health professions training programs from faculty and students currently over at the university or Missoula College. And then we also offer a few different services, physical therapy consultations, health education. So another great way to interface with what's going on in terms of health and medicine here at the university. And then lastly, I'm going to make a plug for my colleague, Dylan Brognick, wave at the back. Dylan is the apprenticeship liaison at Missoula College. And over the last few years, Dylan has worked really hard to expand apprenticeship opportunities across all of Missoula College's programs. but I'm going to speak a little bit more specifically to healthcare. So 3 years ago, there was 0 healthcare apprenticeships in Montana, and today I think we have 250 plus healthcare apprenticeship opportunities across the state. Missoula College has partnered with local healthcare employers. There's a medical assistant apprenticeship in partnership with Providence Health System, and medical claims specialist in partnership with Allegiance. So another great way for students to receive training in healthcare, but this offers the opportunity in an apprenticeship model, so that earn while you learn, to get entry into the healthcare workforce. So from AHEC as well as UMHM's perspective, we're here really to support students on their pathway into a healthcare career through the different education options. And so I really encourage you to visit both organizations' websites and visit with me, and I'd be more than happy to share further information, answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Margaret McManus from Allegiance Health Benefits. Did I get it all right? It's a big name. I'll let her do the whole thing. Yeah, I just go by Allegiance.
So, one question for Clint. Am I on the naughty list? Since I had to go very last. And the bar is set so high with all these other speakers. I'm going to drop it right back down.
Best for last.
So I'm Margaret McManus. I work for Allegiance Benefit Plan Management. I'm the Vice President of Administration, and I also want to introduce Crystal Plants, who's in the audience. She is our HR Director. And just before I get into Allegiance, I want to put in a plug both for Missoula College and for the Village Healthcare CNA program. My son was going to school for respiratory therapy at Missoula College, and during one of his off semesters, he took a class and became a CNA, and I think that class really just made his compassion for his patients so much more. So it was shout out to you guys for the job that you do. So Allegiance, we're a company that's been in Missoula for almost 40 years. We are homegrown by our CEO, who still is here in Missoula. Throughout the years, we've changed ownership a couple times, and we are now a subsidiary, wholly owned subsidiary of Cigna Healthcare, which is a Fortune 20 company. Fortunately, though, Allegiance has been allowed to remain what we are. We're a third-party administrator. I think a lot of you here in the room might have a benefit plan that Allegiance administers. We work with employers to set up self-funded benefits. We are not an insurance company. We work, you guys, the clients will tell us this is what we want our benefit plan to cover, and we do the administration. We don't make money by not paying your claims. You guys pay us to administrate your benefits, and that's how we make our money. One of the things I want to talk about, and this kind of goes along with a lot of others, is our culture. And I think this is really important for counselors to pass on to students who may be not interested necessarily in college, but might want to just get out there and hit the workforce and see what's out there. Our culture is passion for people. What that means is we have a passion for the customers that we serve, each and every one of you who might have the health account with us, and also for our employees. Our customers and our employees rank up there number one. So if you are the type of employee we want to look for is somebody who also has a passion for people, somebody who wants to work hard. You don't have to be the most popular kid in class. You get a fresh start when you get out of high school. You can come to Allegiance, and we are going to train you as long as you have the basics. And what I mean by the basics is, moderate computer skills. We can also send you to classes for that. But everything you need to learn, we have on-the-job training programs, and it's really robust throughout the entire company. The types of jobs that we offer are numerous. Customer service representatives. And I'm mostly talking now the entry-level positions that we offer. So customer service representatives, they're on a service team with claims examiners, with the team manager, with nurse care managers. So they all work together. So it's not a call center type thing. It's really more of a team-centered focus where everybody works together to support each other so they can provide the best customer support to our customers. We hit people in two areas. One is healthcare, and one is finances. So when we're We have to work with compassion when we're on the phone with somebody trying to tell them that, oh, you know, that treatment plan that you want to have for your sick child who is going through cancer is experimental investigational. You know, we have to say that compassionately. We have to work with our nurses to find out what is something, what is an alternative. We work and get provider contracts to help. It's from A to Z. It's from the questions that you call and want to know about your deductible to, you know, does your plan cover hospice, that type of thing. So our atmosphere, like I said, passion for people, it's really supported by teamwork. The teamwork is prevalent throughout the whole company, from service teams to our teams in accounting to our enrollment services team. We offer support to everybody. We're family-like. When I started at Allegiance, we had 20 people. We are now up around 540. And in the last year, we've hired over 100 employees. We're a crazy growing company. So there's a ton of opportunity. We have a lot of senior managers who really are in their senior years, and we're going to have a lot of people retiring over the next 5 to 10 years. We are now in the process of promoting people, identifying leaders. I mean, that's just an ongoing process. So whether you want to come to work and you want to start in an entry-level position and maybe stay in that type of position because it provides flexibility. You don't want to be a manager. You don't want to be a leader in the company, but you want a good job where you don't have to pay anything for your benefits, where you just have a lot of support. You have ongoing training. Allegiance is a great place to come. So I want to just mention briefly some of our benefits. Full medical, dental, vision, great pay. We do preventative blood screenings every year because we really want everybody to be aware of what their health is to try to help them keep their health where it needs to be. You don't need a college degree. We have employees who are right out of high school and working on expanding their career. We also have apprenticeships, so I wanted to give a shout out to Dylan and Jimmy somewhere in the audience there. So we worked with Missoula College and we worked with the Department of Labor, State of Montana, local Department of Labor to put some apprenticeships together. We have the Medical Claims Service Apprenticeship, which is a 1-year certificate course. You can work 30 hours a week at Allegiance, and you're actually paid for 40 because we give you 10 hours of paid study time. The accounting apprenticeship works a little bit different, and then we also have an IT apprenticeship that is different still yet. But with all of them, you're eligible for benefits while you are working at Allegiance. Starting pay for I'm going to say frontline entry-level positions, which could be anything from temps who come in during our busy season and help us out to data entry. That starts around $12 an hour, sometimes a little more if you have a little bit of experience. Our CSRs start at $14.50 an hour, but also, again, we'll bump you up if you've got experience elsewhere. One other thing I want to tell the counselors is, you know, again, you don't have to be the smartest and brightest kid in the school. You need to have a desire to work. Not all kids and not all grown-ups, for that matter, come out and they have a fantastic work ethic. We work with people like that, and I want to tell you about a success story. We have a person at Allegiance who is on staff, and she's now in a management position. I can't tell you how many hours she spent in HR. She liked to party on the weekends. She liked to party during the week. She called in sick. She came in late a lot. And I'll tell you what, we worked with her. We recognized that she had so much talent. And she moved her way up, and she was a team lead, and now she's a manager. So we really work with everybody. We have a passion for people. If you have a few issues that you need to work on, we're going to help you with those. You're going to visit Crystal a lot. Crystal works a lot with these guys, and but we're just excited to have people. Last but not least, I wanted to tell you where we're located. Our headquarters is in Missoula. We also have an office in Billings. We have an office in Helena. We have an office, just a single sales office in Tualatin, Oregon, where we have a sales representative down there. Last year, we opened up an office in Plano, Texas. We have a lot of business coming on the East Coast, and so Plano was a good place to recruit from since they have something like 10,000 people a month moving in. It's a crazy. We post down there, and we get literally 500 to 800 applications. It's absolutely crazy. And then we are opening an office in Las Vegas in a client office. It's a Teachers Health Trust, and we're putting a service team down there. So there's opportunity not only if you're here, but if you are interested in moving away, we might be able to place you in one of our offices. And last but not least, we also offer work-at-home opportunities for people. Oh, and one more thing, we are opening a Bitterroot branch in Florence, Montana. We're going to open that office in mid-April.
Are you hiring full-time?
No, but talk to me afterwards. I'm not going to steal employees from any clients. I get in trouble. That's it.
Thank you, guys. You're free to step back to your seats. Now, remember at the beginning I said there was going to be a test at the end. You thought I was kidding. I don't have gold stars, but I do have something that you'll like a lot. So I have a few questions to see if anyone is paying attention. The first one I'm going to ask is a pretty simple one. How long has Kim Luttrell, the CEO of the Chamber, been at the Chamber? 46? But you're not a school counselor, so...
She said 46. Don't even look at her. Yes, 46.
Alright, so I will if you
Someone else did say 46. I don't know who it was.
Someone want to yell 46 really fast?
46.
There you go. You're all the way in the corner, so I'm going to have to get someone to help you. But you get 2 tickets to the MCT production of The Spelling Bee. So you guys can walk down my road, not gonna lie. See, I told you this. You guys are gold stars. All right. Our speaker, Jason from Demo Design, mentioned 3 letters, APC. What does APC stand for? I was going to say, there are 2 tickets, so you kind of have to take them. Alright. So, I'll give you guys a different later. So you guys get 2 tickets to Germany Appleseed. Alright. Next up is a question about the IBEW electrical apprenticeships. They have an apprenticeship program. How many years is it, and how many of those years are you in school? Back there in the back.
5 years, and you go for 5 weeks every year.
There you go. I need help again to hand this back there. You get 2 tickets to the Spelling Bee. Alright, last question. How long is the Carpenters Union apprenticeship program?
2 years.
There we go, 4 years. You get 2 tickets to Alright, before I turn you loose to the networking piece downstairs, I want to once again thank our sponsors, Blackfoot they used to be Blackfoot Communication, now they're just Blackfoot. MCT Theater, MCAT, remember they're recording this so you'll be able to watch it again later. Coca-Cola, Market on Front, City Brew on both Broadway and Brooks. And a couple other things I have to mention. I want to make sure that I encourage you all to spend some time downstairs networking, not just with each other, but with the businesses that presented here today. There's also a bunch that did not get a chance to present. So let me tell you who some of those are. All right, some of the booths downstairs are the Missoula Job Service, YWCA, hopefully they made it here, Missoula College Dual Credit Programs, Missoula College West Campus, the Missoula Building Industry Association, Vocational Rehab, LC Staffing, Apprenticeships, just for the state of Montana, Charter College, and the Montana Manufacturing Extension Center. Did I get that right, Shane? All right, good. They're all going to be downstairs. There's still drinks and there might be a little bit of food left.
A lot of food just came in.
There's charcuterie board.
Yep.
We're moving on to lunch.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Thanks to Blackfoot and Partner Press.
Thank you. Here's meat and cheese.